This I'll have them do it in their book here. So we'll just have this in their book. This will be me just doing the example on the board so they kind of get away of how exactly it works. So here you got your first step, you writing it. Your second step, writing what actually the b equals, which is your pi r squared here. Then you got the volume equals pi. You substitute your 2, which is your r over here, right in for this one. And then your height here for 6. So then you just simple it down. 2 squared equals 4. So you write it all out again. And then your 4 times 6 equals 24. Then your 24 times pi equals 15.36 feet cubed. So that's the first problem there. And we'll do a second one here, just so the kids understand. We'll do a couple more of me just showing them how to do it. And we're going to do one together as a class. So this one here, our big here, this is our diameter, which is going to be 8 inches. And then here's our height part. And the height is going to be 16 inches. So now we go back to the same process again. You write your volume equals base times height. Volume equals pi r squared times height, which is pi times radius squared times your height. So you got volume equals pi. So now since this is 8, we have to find the radius because you don't want the diameter, you want the radius. So you got 8 divided by 2 equals 4, and that's our radius. So you substitute a 4 in here, your squared, and your 16. And then you got your volume equals pi. So you got 16, which is 4 squared, which is 4 times 4, which equals 16, times your 16. You got volume equals pi. You do 16 times 16, which is 256. And then you got your volume equals 803.84 inches cubed. You gotta make sure you leave your labels in here so then they understand what you converted to. That's especially important in story problems because sometimes they'll ask you to convert each of the problems there. So again, we'll show you. So the kids will be able to see this because hopefully the whiteboard is a little bit bigger. But we did the same thing again. We did your volume times your base times height. Put in the pi r squared for your base. And we substitute, since we had just the diameter here, we had to divide that by 2 to get our radius. So we did 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So 4 is our radius. So that's what we put in for the r right here. So we did pi times 4 squared times 16. So then we did 4 times 4, which is 16. So we have pi times 16 times 16. Now we did the 16 times 16, which equals 256. So we now have pi times 256, which in the end equals 803.84 inches cubed. So those are just the ways that you do the cylinders by having the base times the height. Now sometimes in problems in real world, they'll give you the base and the volume. So then you got to find the height. So we do the same thing. You got your cylinder like always. Here's your cylinder. And here's your height here. But we don't know it, so we're going to have to figure that out. So our volume equals 10,000. We got 10,000 meters cubed is our volume, and then our diameter is 8 meters. So now you just have to plug everything in. So you write your problem. Volume equals base times height. So then you do volume equals pi r squared times your height. So now we have the volume, so you do 10,000 equals pi. Here's your 8 squared. You don't have h, so we're trying to figure out h. So then you keep going. 10,000 stays the same. You get pi times 16, or sorry, 64. 64 is 8 times 8 is 64, not 16 h. So that's your next one. Then you're going to write the 10,000 again. and that equals 200.96 H. So now you have it almost solved. You just need to figure out what H is. What you're going to do is you're going to divide this side by 200.96 and this side by 200.96. This will leave you with an H on this side. And then this will equal 49.84 meters. So that's your height. So that goes right there. So that's how you figure out your height. So we'll show you this here. What we got here. Oh, sorry. There we go. There we go. So you got your volume here. So what we did is we wrote it out again. You just keep writing this problem out, so just go bang it in their head. So then we got volume equals pi r squared H. So now you got the volume here. So you do 10,000 pi, here's your r, which is your radius, 8 squared H. So now you get 10,000 pi 64 H, because 8 times 8 is 64. So then you get 64 pi, you get 296 H equals 10,000. So then you just divide both sides by 296 and you get 49.84 meters. And that's your height for that cylinder there. So it's pretty simple. So now we're going to do problems together as a class. And this is going to be a story problem. And it's kind of be a little bit of a real world story problem here. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a gallon of water. Those little water things that you tip upside down, you tip it upside down and you get water that gurgles out. Those nice little things. So what we're going to do is we got the height here of 1.7 feet. And down here is 1 foot. That's your diameter of your circle down here. So you're going to have to cut that in half to get your radius. So the question is about how many gallons of water does a water cooler contain? Now on there it says 1 foot cubed equals just about, so you're going to be your squiggly lines, which means about 7.5 gallons of water. So since this is in foot, it had to give you this ratio here so you can figure out how many gallons there are. So together as a class, let's figure out how we're going to do this problem. So what's the first thing we need to do, Sam? That's correct. We're going to write the volume equals base times height. All right. Cynthia, what's our next step? Correct. We're going to write volume equals pi r squared times h. All right. Courtney, can you tell me what the next step is? Good job. Volume equals pi r. Would you say r was? 0.5. Good job. Because that's 1 divided by 2, which equals 0.5. Good job, Courtney. So now we're going to add the squared. We have 1.7. So everybody get your calculators out and we're going to do 0.5 squared. Good job. So 0.5 squared equals 0.25. And then got the 1.7 still. So the next one, you guys are going to go ahead and put in 0.25 on your calculator times 1.7. What does that equal there, Zach? 0.425. Good job. So now, I want you guys to type in the 0.425 on your calculator and then the pi symbol. Should just be right up top there. You just go ahead and press it and press equals and it'll give you a number. I want you to round it off to the nearest tenth. And remember, this here is your 10th spot. So you can either round it up or down. So we got 1.34. Good job. So now you have 1.34 equals your volume. But that's feet cubed, right? So we figured 1 foot cubed equals 7.5 gallons. So what I want you to do is I want you to type in 1.34 times it by 7.5. This will give you how many gallons you have. So how much is it? 10 gallons. Good job, guys. So this equals just roughly about 10 gallons. So I'll give the students more problems from their books to look at. There'll be a couple questions in there that says work on their own. I'll go around and make sure everybody understands. Even after everything on the board, I'll leave this up just in case they have any questions or they get lost. That way they have examples of each. They've got the one where they just have the radius and the height. This one they have the diameter, they have to find the radius. This one here, they have to figure out the height, and then a story problem. So then they'll be able to do those couple on their own, and then we'll go through and give their homework assignment. I will do an assessment the next day once they bring their assignment in, and give them a quiz. The quiz will be graded that day, that morning, to see how well we did. Thank you.